Okay. Well,
all right. Here we are.
Yes, here we are, and here are you listening to episode 65, right?
65, that's what I have.
I know it's episode 65. I'm looking at my computer right now where I labeled the track episode 64. So when I'm 65.
Great start.
So yeah, great start to the episode.
Great
we
intro.
all love you so much.
We know what we're talking about.
You listen to Inane Blather for the lack of research, for the cutting, biting social commentary.
It comes from a place of no real substance or anything. You know, that's what we're known for.
Yeah, from a burnout commie, gender studies, sociology major, and a divorced dad economist.
We know what we're
who's
talking
not really
about
an
here.
economist.
Trust us.
But but most of all, because it's like you're just listening to a couple of
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
And that comes across in the podcasting. I mean, 65 episodes of this nonsense. Complete fucking garbage. No.
With no one really interested in it, no one listening, and we still keep putting it out.
Yeah.
So, you know.
No, shout out to the people that listen.
No, of
we
course.
missed you, Wendy. Sorry that we didn't have anything out last week. Oh yeah, that's right. We did skip a week. So, how have you been? How have these 2 weeks been for Madeline?
Me? They've been very busy. They've been good. Doing a lot of this and some of that as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So actually, I
That's
have to
a lot.
literally pull up my calendar to see what I've been doing the last couple weeks.
I mean, it
'cause
it is really just kind of a, non-substantive,
Blur.
just kind of question. You don't really, you could just lie, honestly.
But I'm like, how have I been?
Oh, okay.
What have I been doing?
For my own sake, I'm going to pull up my calendar.
You were here for Labor Day weekend.
That's
just had a lot
true.
going on. People over at the house this week, blah, 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 blah. Had a really great weekend with my partners. And
Boring.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
what I
much.
was
My life's
looking
perfect.
for.
That's boring. There's no conflict or anything. Everyone's just all
Boring.
happy all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would make
It's
terrible
very
TV.
cringe.
Whoa,
when you do that.
That's loud. Sorry.
Though actually, when I go to work, I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but I like to imagine all these different doors that I'm going to. I repeat myself, introduce myself pretty much the same way every single time.
Sure.
You have a script and everything that you're kind of, this is what you're out here doing. And I just imagine a montage of me getting the door shut in my face over and over and over again.
Yeah. All cut together. Because your life a movie. My life a movie.
Yeah. My life a movie. It'd be a movie. Yeah.
It only a movie.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, it is. It really is. Sometimes I really think about at this orgy I just went to last weekend, me and this girl there sang the entire elephant medley from Moulin Rouge from start to finish.
The elephant medley. What is that?
Where they're, it's all these love songs cut together.
Oh, that's that big one. Yeah.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
Sure.
And so that was out of a movie. It seemed like a funny thing to be doing as people are goofing off there on the floor,
Goofing around.
Goofing around. It was really, but then other people were singing too. It was really funny. And I was just thinking, if this was in a movie, I would think, it was all good vibes, great vibes. And she was a great singer. I'm a great
You're
singer.
no one else sang. Everyone was really awkward about it. No one.
Yeah, it kinda shut down the party.
Moulin Rouge. They're like, what's with these white people doing all this white person
and
stuff?
all this was in Seattle, so
Yeah, they're
West Seattle. Yeah. No, it was welcome.
Cool.
But it was just funny and
That's fine.
Anyways, my life a movie, and
you're the star.
I am absolutely the main character of my life.
Coming
So,
from the most
very,
modest people
very
in
vain.
podcasting.
Yeah. So how have you been?
Good.
Boring.
No, we hung out for just a couple of days, which was nice. like a
jammed a lot.
day and a half plus a night. Yeah, jammed a little bit of music. That was fun, and then had a busy week. And it's like I don't even do near as much as some of the other people in the Chamber of Commerce, but it was the biggest week of the year, and we had our street fair and annual festival. I don't know what you'd call it, but
Yeah.
but yeah, so it was a lot of work, and just shout out to Wendy who listens.
Hell yeah.
Because she does so much. It's just so crazy how much has to come together for a little thing like that in our small town.
yeah.
But it was really cool. So that's all I can think about what I did. I was like,
Because
go
that's
to a
pretty much all you
meeting and
did,
set
yeah.
some things up and blah blah blah. I went to work, had a nice surprise pop in from my boss in the busiest week on the day where I had to go to work early to do additional training for no reason. It was just it was quite a week, so I was glad to have hung out with you before then, and now I'm feeling good. So, as if anyone cares, but truly,
This
Our
is
listeners
politics.
care.
but
And
yeah,
I care.
yeah. I guess a few of
Said
our listeners
anyone
care.
important. Yeah.
But yeah. So, and one thing.
Wait. I was going to say, we want to make sure that we give this date kind of the respect and
That's right.
dignity it deserves, because it is, after all, hashtag never forget 9/11.
Yes.
And so pour one out for the homies, dance in the street like all those Muslims did
Yeah.
that Donald Trump
on
saw.
the rooftops. Yeah. Dang, I wish I could have just pulled this up like perfectly. I don't know how to get to the chorus. It's raining
All right.
men. Darn.
I love that song. That's one of my karaoke things that I like to.
If only I had
want to
that lined
aspire
up.
to,
That's what I'll always remember earlier days of the internet of bad tattoos. I forget what website I was on, but just a list of horrible tattoos, either misspellings or offensive things, and that one person with that huge tattoo on their arm of like a cartoonish depiction of the Twin Towers smoking,
Oh my God.
and stick figures flying out of the windows, and it says "It's raining men, hallelujah" underneath
Wow.
it. Yeah. Brutal. And I mean, that had so many comments on it, and people are like, whatever to the guy. I mean, the edgelord that would get it. But what respectful tattoo artist would draw that on someone?
A friend.
I was like, that's
probably.
a good point. Yeah, because it was decently done. Like, whatever, I mean, the style or whatever, it was
Anyone can
interesting.
get a tattoo gun. But,
Yeah. Yeah. I need to get more
that is
tattoos.
that's another edgelord tattoo artist.
I guess. Like, that's work.
I'm
That's
sure
work
they
you got to
exist.
put in to
Yeah.
do that for someone. I mean,
And hey, that's what they're saying. Hey, that's work, man. I gotta eat too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in the fucking working class. So we'll set up donations and a Patreon for our listeners to put in money for my tattoo fund. Because I've had one for
I thought you were gonna say for some
like
9/11
10
charity.
years now, and I need more. So, we'll get all that money together, and then we put out a poll, and our listeners get to choose what tattoo gets put on me. So then it's like a collaborative
So it'll probably be that
thing.
It's Raining Men.
So, yeah, that won't be on the list of options. But
Well, I have a friend who would probably practice on you for free. But I
no, because
wanted
I
to
would have
say-
the exact same thing with the Twin Towers smoldering, but my only change would underneath it would just say "fuck the troops." No, that's my
Fuck the
edgelord
troops.
thing.
Okay, you're like Westboro Baptist Church over here.
Yeah.
With your like
Yeah.
God hates
God hates.
God hate flags.
Yeah, and the troops because they're
Exactly. They
Yeah.
deserve it. They deserve to die because they love those gay boys. So I just went to the New York Post because I wanted to see, of course, what they're saying about September 11th.
Oh, sure.
And I thought it was very interesting. This opinion piece, of course, my favorite, titled 22 Years of Never Forget, Biden is spending 9/11 in ... Alaska. And
Okay.
so it's like Monday marks the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist
Yeah,
attacks
how
that brought down the World Trade
un-American
Center.
to be in a state.
Yeah. It's like brought down the World Trade Center with 4 jets piloted by suicidal Islamic maniacs.
Oh
which
my
I think is just a really funny way to put that. Nearly 3,000 human beings were murdered on the spot. More die to this day after breathing toxic fumes from 9/11 tainted air.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And where is President Biden spending the day? Not in New York, D.C., or Shanksville. Our 80-year-old president and First Lady Jill Biden are in Alaska. Alaska! Exclamation point.
Oh my God. Who wrote this?
Her name is Andrea Pizer.
Jesus.
Yes, Joe Biden.
What is this, a fucking Twitter thread or an article? God.
But then also she says, okay, they're in Alaska. And then, yes, Joe Biden was in India this weekend for the G20 conference, but he couldn't arrange his schedule to make it back for a 9/11 ceremony instead of doing a flyby on the remotest part of U.S. soil. It may have been 22 years, but New Yorkers remember. And it's like, okay, to the remotest part of U.S. soil, what the fuck does it matter how far away? You're in the United States. He's a president in the United States. Like, why does it matter how far Alaska is from New York City? I don't get.
Yeah.
That's just like obviously a dumb thing.
He was in Maine. It's up there in the
New
corner.
New Yorkers remember, and so does Florida Governor and presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis, who plans to visit the city on Monday at the invitation of angry families who lost loved ones on that dark morning. DeSantis had the intelligence and heart to pay attention to the 7 families who invited him to Ground Zero, families that felt slighted by former President Donald Trump. He hosted a Saudi-backed golf tournament at his New Jersey country club last year that started a couple months before the 21st anniversary of September 11th, causing the relatives extreme pain, frustration, and anger. They wrote in a letter to the ex-commander-in-chief. Joe Biden's diss comes at a crucial time in our nation's history as the lessons of 9/11 are beginning to fade. Pretty soon, the day of infamy will be all but forgotten. School children from all but just a handful of states are not required to learn about September 11th, and television coverage of the anniversaries are increasingly spotty.
Yeah.
Now and forever, it is vitally important that we never forget, lest it happen again.
Oh, yeah. How are we going to prevent it?
And
because we all take off our shoes at the fucking airport. And how horrible on this so important 22nd anniversary of it. Not who cares. I mean, people lose their loved ones and stuff, but it's like, Ron DeSantis is going to Ground Zero because of all those people that died in 9/11. Hey, Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida, where 87,000 people died from coronavirus. Mm-hmm. Okay?
That was China's fault, though.
It's like,
also
during the height of the pandemic, there was a 9/11 happening every day. You know what?
That's not the same. That's not by brown people, though.
I was thinking about it this morning. I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot that it was September 11th already again. Mm-hmm. But when I was thinking about it this morning, I opened up the blinds and the bluebirds were singing and they all helped me put my clothing on and stuff. And I was like, it's Patriots Day or whatever they fucking call it. I don't remember. No, and I'm not just going to shit talk 9/11. I mean, it is what it is. It was horrible. It's a tragedy.
I think that everyone can agree. Nobody thinks that any of these citizens, Americans, should have fucking died. Obviously, when you're talking about this, it's like American government that really mishandled this, that made it possible for them to do things like this. It's all criticisms of the government, their non-action before, what they've done after the fact, all that talking about toxic fumes. That's what Jon Stewart has made it his post Daily Show life's work to make sure that those first responders in particular actually get the health care that they need. Because talking about this in this article, it's people are breathing toxic fumes, and it's and you're shitting on the Democrats, sure, whatever, but you want to talk about people actively resisting, helping those people that helped in this day of infamy and all this kind of crap. It's been the Republicans resisting at every single point, trying to extend healthcare to these first responders that they just pretend to suck their dicks all the time.
You know, it would be great. It's a great thing that you could do for the American people. I don't know, pass a universal healthcare bill. Fuck off. But I was gonna say, I was thinking about it this morning, and it's like, it's so. I mean, it's ripe for conspiracies because of what it is, and it was so recent or whatever. But 9/11 conspiracies, it's like I still can't completely put them aside when all I think is that it's like, yes, New Yorkers will always remember, like the article says, DeSantis is going to visit New York. How many people died at the Pentagon? I don't get it. I just don't understand that part of it. Why isn't it like DC hashtag never forget? All these
Never
people
forget.
in DC, like it happened there,
Like just
right?
working government
Didn't
jobs,
it?
yeah,
Didn't
and
like
getting-
the side of the Pentagon get blown out? Did people die? What
Supposedly.
happened there? And it's just like, and then as soon as you think that, just as a kind of non sequitur of like, yeah, how come DC isn't always a big part of this? Because one of the planes crashed there. Then you realize you're questioning it and being like, did a plane crash there? Oh man, are those? What about these conspiracy theories? It's like, did
me.
anyone die? Like, how come no one
Excuse me.
ever talks about that? Bless you. But
Thank you.
but yeah,
But I was
it's like, because
gonna
I
say-
remember the Shanksville one too. I mean, and that's crazy. That's so cool. I mean, not cool, but it's like, man, it was crazy that like one of them, the people on the plane, got to the hijackers and took the plane down, and everyone died. But it's like prevented it
Yeah.
from furthering this whole terrorist plot morning that was going on. And I remember that, it was crashed in a field and stuff. But like the Pentagon is like, how come? Is it just because we cynically hate Washington D.C. that much? Or did something else happen here?
All the stupid bullshit about security and stuff, like what they allow people to know about, like the Pentagon and stupid bullshit like that. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
is
know.
it
And
just
I don't
because since it was the Pentagon, everything's classified? Is that why? I don't know.
I don't know, some bullshit like that. I don't know, whatever it is. I wouldn't put anything past the United States government, but I'm not one for conspiracy theories.
Sure.
Without because I'm like, it could be, but they don't need a conspiracy. They just do stuff. You
Yeah.
could just watch them do stuff. So
That's why I
it's like,
think it's
whatever.
fun or it's funny to engage with 9/11 conspiracy theories only on in the realm of what happened to the Pentagon. Because the more you think about it, like it's either like, man, there was some sort of weird conspiracy, or this is really darkly funny. that should happen and no one cares. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's horrible. And it's all just
I was
because
gonna
the terrorists, those Saudi Arabian terrorists, mind you, all, ran up with their box cutters and just yelled at the front of the plane. Oh my God, my soundboard's not working. I love Karl Marx, is what I was going to say.
I was gonna say-
soundboard.
No.
Okay.
The comments in this are like, obviously there's like 300 comments.
okay.
And they're like,
What do we
Oh,
got?
Joe Biden. Joe Biden's a piece of shit. All he cares about
Sure.
is power. He's not deserving of being there anyways. He doesn't care about it. He's a horrible excuse for a human being. And I'm like, guys, it literally says in here, Trump hosted a Saudi-backed golf tournament like around September 11th when we're talking about like
Yeah. He's so un-American because he was in Alaska on 9/11. Like, Trump
coming back from a summit.
cut weapons deals with the Saudis and let them get away with murdering an American
journalist.
resident journalist. Like,
Yeah.
let's calm down, all right?
Yeah, they're just it's just interesting to see Dimble Biden. Nice.
Old Dimble Biden.
Yeah. He's like, and how that he's gonna say I lost my son in 9/11 or something like that. Say that Bo blah blah blah. It's like I don't know. He's a totally selfish human being that cares nothing for you or America. Just one more reason to not vote Democrat. And it's like, guys, like, genuinely, it is so strange. It's like, sure, totally, Democrats suck, but like,
But what?
Trump
How
was
is this a reason? Like,
And, like,
how does
is
that
it-
get
it's-
you
how
to
is he
cross
worse?
a line, a political line? Something like this. It's so shallow and stupid and meaningless. And it's
So
like, it's either
stupid.
you're lying because it doesn't have anything to do with your vote or your political leanings, or you're fucking idiotic. Like, God, it's like
And-
just making
and-
your decisions based on tabloids at the register, you know, where it's like, well, Hillary did have that alien baby, you know.
And it's like, guys, did you pay attention when Trump was president, like what he was doing? And like, we're saying like Saudi Arabia, he's talking to North Korea, he's talking to Russia, he's like all this like incredibly like he said literally said when Bill O'Reilly's like, I mean, we're better than Russia. And he's like, I don't know. I'm not so sure.
True. Exactly. That's true. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Back
I
when
just don't.
Bill O'Reilly asked him that. Wow. Blast from the past. Hashtag me too. Gone right.
Oh, yeah. Joe Biden only cares about Joe Biden. In contrast, DeSantis served his country, the only current candidate who actually
my
served his
God.
country.
Yeah. Being a fucking
Biden can't risk
lawyer.
offending the Saudis. It's like it says in this article. Trump hosted a Saudi-backed golf tournament, and you're saying Biden can't risk offending
Was
the
that
Saudis. He depends
around-
on them for oil.
So what was the Saudi visit where he was like putting his hands on the orb and shit
the
like
orb?
that? Like
That was
why?
like-
Why isn't that ringing the alarm bells for these weirdos that make their decisions
looks like
like
a
this?
cult.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it
I
looks
don't know.
like weirder than Bohemian Grove. Like that shit. It's like, yeah, Saudi oil billionaire autocrats and authoritarians around like a glowing orb with the president as he cuts
Yeah,
a
with
$2
their hands
billion
on it.
weapons deal with them.
Yeah,
and they're like, yeah,
literally,
but he's
like,
American.
satire is dead.
Yeah.
God.
Well, that would have been perfect for. I have this written in my notes, and I just wanted to cynically like open the podcast with like a dumb liberal type thing, and so I have like it's like in capital letters says, "Welcome back to the man-hating sluts fuck Trump podcast, Trump the shit ass."
Trump the shit ass.
Yeah, fuck
Shit
Trump.
ass. Look at Granny.
Yeah. So, I have some stuff in here. But it's been a couple weeks, and sometimes I don't delete my stuff, so I don't remember what we talked about. Did we talk about India landing a craft on the south side of the moon?
Yeah.
Okay.
South side.
Did we talk about Kevin Sorbo making a decent point on accident on Twitter? No,
I wanna
but
read-
that's
well, there's this
boring.
article
Okay, yeah, let's do some more
on,
9/11 articles.
Well, this is New York Post. It was recommended. Shivanthi Sathanadan, a bigwig in Minnesota's
Nice
Democrat
job,
Farmer
Natalie.
Labor Party. I'm not sure how to say it. Yeah. Police hater just got carjacked by reality. So it's someone said, she said before, dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. It has systemically failed the black community. It's time to build new infrastructure. It works for all communities. And then she got carjacked. So now she's singing a new tune, but
Is she?
she's like, I don't think so. It's like these men knew what they were doing. I have no doubt
but
they've done
she
this
called
before.
the
Yet they're still on
police
our
after
streets,
she got carjacked.
killing mothers, giving babies psychological trauma. Like she has like blood just like on her face and like
Ugh.
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 blah blah blah. Like hold people accountable for their actions, which doesn't necessarily mean policing. It's like holding people accountable doesn't mean just locking them up. But it's an interesting thing. She said, or it's like it may be a true revelation for her. A fresh instance of the late Irving Kristol's famous quip, "A conservative is a liberal who's been mugged." And I
Oh
really
my
hate that. I hate
God.
it so much.
No.
Like
Those people,
it's-
those people that do change that tune, they just were always conservative. Or, liberal in the American liberal sense, where it's like, yeah, they're not a conservative, but they were always right-wing in their heart and reactionary. Like, it's just, Yeah, they changed their tune because of this one thing that happened to them because they didn't actually empathize in the first place. Oh, so they're just a reactionary. That's it.
And also, I just feel like the police have not been defunded just because she was saying that we need to do something like that. Nothing has happened, and she still got carjacked. The police are still out there doing their jobs, and she still got brutalized because the cops don't do shit to stop crime.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, what have the cops done in this situation? Just because she has an opinion about it
she got
doesn't mean that's why
carjacked.
she was targeted.
Why?
That's not why people are like, oh, she doesn't believe in the police. We'll show her. That's what these carjackers are saying. Like,
exactly. It's like, no, there just still
she's an easy
exists
target.
this crime, this structure of crime and violent crime due to, all these systemic inequities and yada, 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 and neoliberalism and, horrible American culture. What's there's this tangent is like, racists, right? Blaming black culture, and stuff like that, where they're just at their heart, they just think black people are criminals and stuff like that. When it's, there's lots of things, the combination of black people in America being overpoliced plus black people in America being more impoverished, just means that there's a lot more crime, but it's like, well, if you want to talk about cultural influences on creating crime, it's like, yeah, it's just American culture. It's not black culture. It's just how this country works when you're poor. But anyway.
I definitely hear that at the door. This one guy, I remember talking about gun violence and being like, well, it's something that people just don't want to talk about, like who's committing these crimes. It's the culture around it. And I'm like, well, yeah, you're right that there's an inextricable link between poverty and crime, that is what happens all over the world. And here in the United States, because of systemic inequalities and systemic racism and systemic over-policing and things like that, that's what's going to cause a disparity in these crime statistics when people like that don't really like to hear that. They're not really hearing what you're saying. One time I really went on a long...
They think they already gave you a gotcha. And it's like, no, I'm actually responding to what you said.
Yeah, I gave like a really nuanced response to this guy once, and it was like, blah, blah, blah. It was like a while ago about the vaccine. And he was like, paused for a second and was like, what are you, like a liberal? And it was like, I was like, I'm just smart, I guess. So that's why you think I'm a liberal.
I guess.
Like, it was really telling that it was like some nuanced discussion made him think that I was, like left wing,
so
and I'm like, exactly.
All these facts and like discussion, and you want to talk about things. What are you, a liberal?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like.
And what's even funnier is that, nowadays, just being any sort of smarmy leftist in any way whatsoever, let alone a communist or something, is just the response to that of no. No, I'm not.
Yeah,
Fuck
I'm
liberals.
definitely not a liberal. I was like, I think I'm smart, and
I'm more
think about
liberal
things,
than you, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a
if
progressive
you wanna
person.
Put it that way. Yeah. Yeah, I'm
but
I'm
I ain't no
progressive.
liberal.
Or you just say, no, I'm a socialist, just because then they get the hairs on the back of their neck raise, even if you don't consider yourself a socialist.
I'm actually a communist. I'm an anarcho-communist.
Yeah, and they're like...
which is it's a complicated way of saying an idealist.
Slap myself on the guy's a commie.
That's what they say.
Exactly.
And speaking of BoJack Horseman, to all of this previous half hour...
That was, and I don't say this lightly, worse than 100 September 11th.
There we go.
Very fitting for today.
Yes. 911... No, 91,100 or whatever that would be. It would be like 911 times 1,000. You mean, that's right, 911,000. But
yeah, there really isn't much 9/11 stuff here.
Yeah.
I guess I'd have to
and
I guess they're right. You can hardly see any 9/11 stuff. You're writing in, like, there's another, like, you're writing to a distributor of information, that's like on them. They could be talking about 9/11 more. All you right-wing people, probably on Fox News, but I don't really like to. Let's just look it up. 9.
Well, I saw this.
11.
We missed so much. We missed so much stuff. Shout out to our friends that go to Burning Man. I hope that you're okay.
Yeah,
we missed out on that Burning Man fiasco, but and it's like, what a nightmare. And then it also gave a look into how Burning Man has been going, I guess, and it's like, it's just more and more, I guess, tech bro type people, and now celebrities go to Burning Man. It's like, what? Why? I didn't even know. I'm just not a burner at all. But I just know people that go. But I didn't even know that you had to buy a ticket to go to Burning Man. I didn't think that was a thing. I thought it was like this cooperative
just
effort.
Gathering.
Yeah, and everyone goes. It's like, sure, there's things to pay for, I'm sure, but it's mostly bartering. And it's like a giant, techno-futurist in the desert barter fair with art and music and stuff like that. It's a festival. I didn't think that there was like an entrance where you had to get a ticket. So that already surprised me, let alone that like Chris Rock was there and that Grover Norquist goes every year, which, what the fuck? Count me out. I guess I'm never going. But what the fuck is that? But then there's but still, that sucks. What happened? What a nightmare. Desert, rainstorms, mud, someone died. It would be like,
what a nightmare.
Even though so many people are so many of the people at Burning Man aren't these rich weirdos. Some of them are just actual people who want to be there, creating art and bartering and camping in the desert.
It's like a radical self-reliance is the thing that they practice
and
there. There's like some 10 like different things like burner like ideals kind of, and like it is like well,
we should get
radical self-reliance
Zach
or whatever,
on the show or something like that. We can
talk about it.
But right here, editorial on New York Post: Burning Man's privileged twits leave behind a trash Nevada campsite. And I'm just like, oh, of course, because it's anything that's not like, no matter who the people are here at Burning Man, you just get to insert something like that where it's like, oh, it's all these privileged people, just because there are people that are left of conservative in a place, even though a bunch of like, I guess, radical self-reliance is what brought in a lot of like libertarian type people to Burning Man, not communists, but it's all sorts.
Anarchists.
Yeah, which unfortunately in America includes like libertarian dumbasses. So
I got into a conversation with a libertarian at the door, and I just knew it going in. What I just had a guess of what kind of guy he was going to be, like the way, like his Jeep, and then he had like this big military vehicle in the driveway. I'm not really sure how to describe it, like a Humvee truck type. No, bigger, like taller.
Oh, okay.
And not as wide, like maybe with like canvas on the back.
Yeah.
But anyways, we got into a conversation.
A daily driver. Yeah. It's a commuter.
Yeah. Which it's like, it was talking about, being too many people in the city, and there's so much more land in the United States, like, to use. I'm like, yeah, but those are like environments, like animals live there and stuff, like in places. And he's like, well, you obviously haven't been in the United States around, you haven't traveled much. There's so much
you
land.
haven't traveled
and I was
much.
well, I've driven across the United States 5 times by myself, so I think that I have. And I know that there is a lot of empty space. I'm from Eastern Washington, but animals live there, and like we can't just like keep growing like exponentially. And because he starts talking about, because I'm talking about reproductive rights and abortion, it's like, but actually, our population rate is going down and all this kind of stuff, like about
population growth rate.
Yeah, because that is going to start getting into.
Sure.
That's what I was like, but that growth rate's not really sustainable anyways. There's like so many human beings, and people being more intentional with like, human like propagation is probably a really important thing moving forward and stuff. And it was just interesting how condescending he was, and like obviously so much like less well informed than I am. And I was feeling kind of bad for him, like him being a guy, he seemed like maybe easily taken in by other people's opinions, and it was really kind of, I felt we ended on like a really nice
about
conversation.
This weak-minded
like
person.
His name is Brian, and I was like, Brian with a Y or an I, and he told me it was with a Y, and I was like, oh yeah, it's like reminds me of my dad. His name's whatever.
He's like with
blah, blah,
a Y. He's
and,
like, you can spell it with an I. You're like,
yeah.
Where are you from?
It could have been really easy for him to be like very put off by me like asking how to spell his name and being like that kind of weird. Some people are like, I'm not going to tell you my name at the door or whatever. Yeah, for sure. And it ended nice, but I just felt really bad for him, like how dumb he was, like how like simple-minded like his logic was and stuff, like because, and that was like, he was just reminding me, I was like, I'm sure he probably listens to Jordan Peterson type of guy, like, and those kinds of types, and just like taking in some, like not being able to get a lot out of what people are saying, like being not that
it's not their fault.
good at critical thinking.
As R.M. Brown
I felt really bad
says,
for him. He was so like, oh,
a lot of
like I felt
stupid people that end up just being taken in by just the American system, the societal machine, politics, and I mean everything's politics, but how you get to churn out so many people to support this structure that does nothing good for them is because there are a lot of normally would be well-intentioned people that are like that, I mean, and it also, I mean, that it's just so many people in that position are a just real-life reflection of Dunning-Kruger, that it's just like, because anyone in that position doesn't think that they think they know all that they need to know. You know what I mean? When it's like, you could be a person helping progress society in some way, or, enrich your life by learning more about how the world works, or something. I don't know, just being really general about it.
And they think that they do.
But yeah, exactly.
Because
but they're like, why would I? They don't think that, hey, I could do that. It never crosses their mind because they're fine, because they're in a privileged position probably, they must be smart because I'm not one of those people,
I have a house in Seattle that looks very nice and tidy.
I have a house
nice
and
car.
a job and a car. It's like, of course.
He at least would engage with me and have like some opinions. This one woman summed it up perfectly, this vibe I felt in this neighborhood. Man, it was really a bit like, this is a nice neighborhood that really, like, nice in the way, like, not all these ostentatious houses, but, like, really mature, big trees, very quiet,
old
like,
places.
safe, nice houses. Yeah, like, as in really well-kept and, like, really pride in ownership in this neighborhood. It was probably the coldest, like, welcome I'd ever had in a neighborhood. First 3 doors that I knocked were like, whoa, this is like, they're like 100% pro-life, and I'm like, hey, we're a human rights organization, we're worried about that maternal mortality rate. You should check out our stuff online, like whatever. And then people just like, this one guy was like, and like waved me away, like was in his front yard and like
could see the
grunted
look
at me.
on your face when you're doing that.
Oh, it was, it was how that sounds. And
sometimes
then
too,
like waving me away.
When people are like that, one little thing like that, where it's like, that doesn't tell you everything about a person, but it tells you enough that you immediately stop and think, how did you get to this position in life?
Absolutely.
How did you get here?
100%. But one woman, she said it. She didn't even open the door, didn't look out at me, like, from behind the doors, like, who is it? Like, it's Natalie with Amnesty International. I'm out here on a campaign for reproductive rights. And she says, we're good, thanks, though. And I was like, right there, that is the epitome of the attitude.
Yeah.
Like, we are good, but thanks.
Well, I'm not
thanks
asking
for your
how
work,
you're doing, but okay.
Yeah, I know that you're probably good.
I can tell that
probably
you're very good.
yeah, like that you're not been affected by these things, even to just have a conversation with me, or just to, you could just like not answer the door. But it's like interesting. That attitude is like, yeah, we're fine. No, we're fine. And it's like, yeah, but there's a lot of people that are not fine.
Yeah.
Like there's like this is a crisis. Like we're talking gun violence. We're talking, pregnant teens being forced to give birth by their government. Like that's like a huge crisis. We're not good, actually.
Yeah.
If you extend to more people than just
we're
your household.
good in that context is just the bare minimum politeness way of saying, actually, we don't care. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I mean, if you don't care, you don't care. But be honest with yourself, please.
Just say it.
Because that's why you say we're good, is because
and there are
you don't
people
care.
that say they don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
That's all. That's more admirable, honestly.
I agree. I would say it with your chest. If you're a racist, do it.
Yeah.
Be it. Be what you think. Like don't try to like be all polite and all this good. Yeah, say I don't care, because you know what? There are people that say it. They say, I don't care about these issues. I'm not interested in anything, any work that you're doing. I don't give a shit. Like people say that, and it's like, hey, yeah, I admire your ability to be so incredibly honest.
And what's funny is that
whether I think
someone
it's really
like
sad that you care or not, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the person that Malcolm X was talking about, where it's like that person saying, no, we're good. There's a good chance that they vote Democrat, that it's like they're
sure.
quote unquote liberal, or they think that they are because they vote Democrat or something, or it's like, or whatever. It's like, but it doesn't matter. It's more that dishonesty that is the white moderate, like what, that Martin Luther King talked about the white moderate, but there's
more dangerous than the KKK.
Yeah, there's Malcolm X had a more biting commentary on it though, on that exact type of thing. And it's like, and who knows, maybe they're just a monstrous person that like donates to, CPAC or something. But it's like, but you're there in Seattle and someone like that who told you in those other words that they don't care to even engage when it's like, for one thing, it blows my mind that you even run into people that are home, during the day, where it's like, so it's like those people that are home, it's like, you have time. You do. It's like, so I don't know what else
some
to
people
say.
working from home or whatever, but
and if you're working from home, then you have time to take 5 minutes to someone at your door and to tell them that you don't care, or that that you are interested, or to have a discussion. It's like, life's short, man.
Or do you think what I do is stupid?
Life is short.
Or whatever?
What are you doing with your time? Okay. It's a
reminder to everyone if you have someone like anybody coming to your door, those are people. They're people trying to do either a job or work they believe in, whether it's like missionaries or people like me, like activists. There's people that are selling things, of course. That's their job, and you should really treat them with some respect, like you do other people.
Yeah.
Like, people are so
human
fucking
being.
mean to us at the door. I'm sure you used to do this door-to-door work.
Man.
People can be so incredibly. It's like you are just waiting for anybody to come around for you just to lash out.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, what is the point in treating? You wouldn't treat someone like that, I hope, like at the register, when you're at the grocery store, or you're like, out in your life. But then when you get home, people get really like bother me at home. It's like, bitch, don't answer the door then. Like, you don't have to.
Yeah,
you have all
bother
the power.
you at home.
You can literally
I'm
slam
sure
the door
you'd be totally
in my
fine
face.
if I did this in front of the grocery
came to your
store
work.
instead.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd
or I
love
came
it.
to you, try to approach you. It's like we're trying to get people when we can, like, to talk to them because we want to solve this crisis, these crises. And it's like, and you have literally all the power. You can shut the door whenever you want. I told this one guy, he's like, I really don't, we do it all online, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, it's really important having these conversations. And he's like, and see, you keep talking, and I just want to end this conversation. And I'm like,
so
you can shut the door at any time. And he was like, I don't want to be rude. And I'm like, I'm not sure this is much better.
Yeah,
so,
you don't?
It's, yeah. Well,
why not?
You are.
Yeah, like, why? Yeah, that's an interesting point, too, where it's like, stop there, sir, and think about that. You don't want to be rude? Why do you think you're... What would be rude about it?
Why would you be?
What is... And also, why don't you want to be rude? Like, just think about those basic things. Like, is it because, you know, you just want to end the conversation? Is it because you disagree so badly it's not going anywhere? Is it because deep in your heart, after just a couple things that you've heard, you realize you're wrong about some things that you've always thought?
They're not doing enough,
yeah,
I think. They do... That guy did donate
I'm just
and stuff,
saying,
and
like,
it's a lot of it...
wrong about something. Like, just anything. You know?
I think that people just don't want to say, they don't want to have to tell me no.
Yeah.
And it's like,
That's totally understandable.
But that's like, and I get it, but also this is my job. I get told no all the time. I would way rather have people just being like, no, I'm not going to, you know, at the door, whatever. I understand. I appreciate how hard you work and all that. That feels nice. You know, I get it. And it's like, I get it. I'm not going to, if I signed up every single person that I talk to, like we would have this problem solved already. This is hard work, you know, but just to be, it's like, I don't want to have to be rude. It's like, I thought we would just like have a conversation. You agree with me. You donate to all of these causes. I'm just telling you what Amnesty is doing. You're feeling pressured. And you know why? Because you're defensive, because you're not doing enough. According to you, that's why you're projecting it onto me. Because I'm out here, you know I'm getting the door slammed in my face. You know you're going to tell me no. And instead of like feeling some compassion for me.
About it,
Yeah, you want to just make it like you're the victim somehow in this because I knocked on your door and you already give other ways.
It made you feel bad about how you're here not doing anything.
Yeah, and I always tell people, I'm like, the last thing I want to do is make people feel guilty. I want to make people feel inspired and like they do have a place to go.
That's a good line.
Where they can actually make a difference.
People,
I tell people that I've had people like legitimately like people on very fixed incomes that could not donate $18 a month, like in tears before, where they're like, I really wish I could. And I'm like, you can go online, you can sign a petition. That is just as meaningful. Like having your voice heard in any way. Not everyone can give financially. I know that. I'm a human rights activist. I don't do this for the money. You know, like I go door to door. You think this is like something that's
I'm the most empathetic person that is going to knock on your door.
It's like I'm just here. If we have a good conversation, that really gets me through the day sometimes, is like people just being like genuinely saying thank you for coming here and reminding me that there's something to do, even if they don't sign up, you know, even if we only talk for a few minutes. It's like, that's really cool to be treated like a person, to be treated like a like-minded person who's out here doing the work that you fucking care about, instead of someone that it's like, I don't want to have to be rude. It's like, I'm at the front fucking lines of this. The people that like we support at Amnesty, like these higher up, like real like lobbyists and people who are like in the halls of Congress and stuff, are so incredibly thankful for the work that we do, like as fundraisers, because they know they couldn't do it without us. Like they know how hard the job is. Like they were out here supporting this work getting done. I think we get a lot of respect like that. And so it's interesting, like these people that agree with me, that donate to organizations being shitty to me, when it's like, but this is how these organizations, like this is exactly what you want. This is what you want. This is how change happens, is by people having conversations. So like, thanks for being an asshole. It's really helpful.
Yeah, but nothing ever, you know, people don't change just because of that.
They've been known to.
So, actually I had someone come to me. Someone doing door-to-door stuff here in my little shithole.
Wow.
And it was an interesting thing. He's a really nice guy. And even that, because I've done things like, you know, door-to-door before and this and that.
I love meeting
the biggest
canvassers
thing
going
was,
door-to-door.
and I was in the middle of doing stuff out in front. I was literally like loading shit into my truck, and I was all sweaty and like doing yard work, and
it's like the volleyball scene in Top Gun.
I was oiled up, and I was like, "What's going on, bro?" Yeah, and he was this European guy. He was an immigrant doing this job, but even that, the biggest thing was just like, hey, and I gotta say, I mean, I just don't want to waste your time, you know. But
for sure.
Maybe
Obviously,
down here,
tell
them down here there's a place and where some people would probably be interested. It was like an educational packet system, some sort of thing where, and it didn't seem like anything nefarious. But And also, it's like, you know, you're lucky I'm a nice guy because you don't just go and make these weird assumptions about people. Like, asked if I had kids, 'cause, you know, in school. I was like, yeah, because it was an education thing. And he's like, okay. And when I was kind of, you know, obviously not really interested, he's like, but, you know, I'm sure your wife or the mom makes the educational decisions for the children, like the way he did it. And it's like, it is lucky, like you're just a nice guy with a nice smile, and then I'm nice because I'm like, no, fuck you for assuming. Like, I'm half the year I'm a single father, all right? Fuck you. It's like, and the reason I'm not interested is because I do my own educational stuff, but it's good that you're trying to do extracurricular, you know, things, especially in this town. But that's why I pointed him too. I was like, well, actually, I mean, she does because my child's mother is a teacher. So, but I was like, but over in that area where she is, there's families with school-aged kids, and someone might be interested, and kind of pointed him over there. I was like, but I'm not going to be able to do anything for you. So, you know, and a handshake and all that. And I was just thinking, I was like, man, my only thoughts was, what a brutal route you're on right now. Like going around Benton City. Oh, geez, finally doxing myself on this show. and like
small town.
Going around a small town with an accent and doing door-to-door things during this moment in time where the whole like conservative movement is behind like homeschooling your kids and education and not getting them indoctrinated and all this crap. I'm like, oh, good luck, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, but yeah, shout out to the people that actually have discussions and aren't trying to sleazily work over old people for scam roof repairs, going door to door.
No. That's definitely something I have to work against. I'm like, don't worry, I'm an activist.
Yeah,
like I'm here for like a good cause. Like I'm not selling you anything. I'm trying to get you involved.
Because if you sign up and give money, you're getting nothing. Just to let you know.
Yeah, yeah, you get nothing but peace of mind that you're trying to solve these problems.
I went back to my phone. I still had it open on the Burning Man privileged burners crap from but we're talking about the different types of people that are at Burning Man, so let's circle back to 30 minutes ago or whatever. No, but yeah, like we were kind of saying, and I don't know very much about Burning Man, and I'd like to talk to someone about it, but the way that it has been going with these probably, you know, fake hippies, rich people, libertarian tech nerds, stuff like that. There's a bunch of those. And it says the festival's own survey last year revealed that the average burner is a college-educated 37-year-old straight white male who votes Democratic and made over $100,000 in 2021. I was like, good God. Yeah, tickets ranged from
That's not my
tickets started at
$575
to up to $2,700, which at that point too, it's like, what do you pay more for? It's a big desert basin. What, you get a better spot? What the fuck are you talking about?
I think that's a good idea.
I want to be closer to the man, the Burning Man. I got a ticket so I could be front row. I don't know, but yeah, at the same time too, it's like it's funny that's interesting, that survey result to me. But it's also interesting that they feel the need to include this in this article. You know, it says it's a italics progressive exclusive rich boy party in the wilderness. And for all the preaching about green activism, communal effort, and civic responsibility, their garbage now stretches across miles of once pristine desert. which that sucks. But still, it's like, okay, all right, yeah, this is worth an article. that some rich people left garbage in the desert. I don't know about that. Here, I'm going to record this on my end. Okay. Okay, now, I just cut out a bunch of dead space, lost internet. Natalie's here on the phone, but don't blame Natalie because it's my fault. So, anyway, we'll just wrap it up.
Are you recording
This.
me on that end?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I should stop recording on my end.
Sure. Okay. Just
Okay.
shout out to everyone. I love you. We'll be back with another episode in a week, just like we should. Okay?
Hell yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Okay.
Shout
I
out
love
to Aaron
everybody.
Brown.
Shout out to Aaron Brown, our Lord and Savior. And
Okay.
Zach and Nina and Kelsey and all
And
of you guys. I love you
Discontent
so
Provider and Wendy.
Yes.
And shout out to me for doxing
All
myself
you people.
today. See you at Benton City Days next year.
much. I'll see you in hell. No.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Okay, I love you.
Love you. Bye.